I know the person who really hurt is Killer Gilchrist. 3-3.
Yo, say something, Axel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
What should I say?
Just anything. You're good.
All right. I'm gonna react to that bitch.
All right, bet we here. Hold on. GTA 4 Cluckin' Bell. Stuffed Pollo
What the?
Todo Frito
Holy
from
shit.
GTA 4. What the fuck
Yeah,
am I looking at right
man.
now?
Yeah. I feel
What's
like
that YouTube shit?
I feel like I'm in that scene
Like
before.
this shit is insane,
I
gang.
seen Jig around a few times so I go home,
And then here
and you know
go
what I'm
Low.
saying.
His whole
I
conversation
feel
is finna be
just 'cause I
streamed.
know I'm
Is
feeling
it?
the way.
Is it like cooking up some shit?
Freshman, I was working out there
You
with
say
the
what?
company. I mean with the
Is
road,
he like cooking up some shit?
but
I don't know
man,
what
it's
he got
crazy.
going. But
Like
this is weird. It's a fuck corn on the
he
cob inside of
he
fried
and
chicken.
Jig
So
and them
let's
used to
see.
play
Hey,
2K together.
you know
Yeah.
you're not
That shit
actually
is
allowed to drink in a beer commercial?
that's so
Since when?
What happens when you take a whole chicken, pack it full of mashed potatoes, top it full of gravy,
What?
insert some corn,
Man, what?
then deep fry it?
man. You just never know, bro.
Why does
You've
that
got
sound kind
yourself
of
a
good?
meal.
He said, "What happens when you take a whole chicken, stuff it with mashed potatoes and gravy, and put a corn on the cob in it, and then fry it?"
I mean,
That sound kind of good.
you know, you don't know, you don't know if it's good or not.
Yeah, I ain't.
You might try it.
That shit sound good, and we're off to a good start. I'm
Hello
not gonna
there.
lie.
Welcome back to another episode
Yeah.
of Arcade with Alvin, where today we're going to be making the stuffed pollo todo frito from Cluckenbell in
Hey, can you
GTA.
tell me if
It's
it's
a
too loud
whole chicken,
on
seemingly with
Twitch?
head on and the feet, filled with gravy, mashed potatoes, stuffed with a corn cob from the back entrance, and
Ew,
fried
look at them
completely
feet,
whole,
bro.
leading to a
You know people
whopping
eat chicken feet?
17,500 something calories. Now, I don't
Yeah.
know about you
Damn, he
guys,
got a
but that
whole
sounds
chicken for
fun and
real.
dangerous. Let's do it.
And he
So,
gonna
with the
sell
help
that
of
shit?
Rachel, we were able to source a
Yo,
complete chicken with its feathers plucked off.
Wait,
Head on,
what?
feet on, everything there. Except for maybe
hold on, I gotta pause right quick. Chat. What the fuck? He got a whole chicken with no feathers on that bitch. With the head. That shit is dead. Like, this shit is crazy, bro. All right, let's
its
go.
dignity. We were assured by the butcher that this was an
I don't know what to
ethically
say.
raised
Me
animal, so we
neither.
will take his word for it. Although the things we are about to do to this chicken may not be so. Upon looking at the anatomy of the chicken and examining the front end
Oh
and the back
shit.
end with both my hands and a metal chopstick, it's let's just say that the entrance may not be as accommodating as the commercial might
Oh,
imply. Already filled with guilt, I am going to try and employ a different kind of
like, this
method.
is
Now,
crazy.
while I ponder my future sins upon this animal, I will go ahead and make the spice rub for it. So, in a container, I'm going to combine a
Wait,
tablespoon of
what?
hot paprika, 2 teaspoons of dried mustard powder, 2
Oh, now
teaspoons
he's
of
trying.
dried thyme,
He's
2
gonna
teaspoons
cook.
of garlic powder, a
Yep, now
teaspoon
you
of
see.
celery salt, a teaspoon of onion powder,
Yeah.
a teaspoon of white pepper, and half a teaspoon of ground ginger with some salt and pepper. This is kind of what you get after Googling the secret spice blend of KFC online, so we're
Hell
going to kind
yeah.
of go with something similar. Just to get the flavor going, and because this
I
is
ain't
a
gonna
whole
lie, that might
chicken,
be
it's
good.
going to need
Bro,
quite
don't
the
it
heavy
sound? It
amount of
sounded like
seasoning.
it's finna
So
be
first I'm
good,
going to
bro.
season the chicken
You
all
finna
over with
see?
this spice
So like,
mix,
this is weird
especially
as
inside the
still.
This is weird
cavity
as
and
fuck.
underneath any crevices or wings or drumsticks that
Like,
might
how
miss any
is he
patches.
supposed
While that sits, I'm
to
going to
do
make a
that?
simple
You know?
breading for this mix
How
as
is
well,
he
making
gonna
sure to
handle that
season the
bitch?
flour with the seasoning mix.
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
using about 4 cups of all-purpose
You know?
flour and enough of the seasoning mix to get a nice pale red or orange tinge to it. I've never had any issues with over-seasoning the flour because that's kind of the favorite part when you eat fried chicken. It's that delicious crust combined with the juicy chicken inside, so I tend to over-season instead of
For
under-season on the
sure.
flour.
This
Okay,
shit look
now that
like
our
it's finna
chicken
smack,
has
gang.
been rested for about 10 minutes or
Yeah.
so, and some of the water has started to come out of the skin, I'm going to go ahead and coat this in our seasoned flour mix, making sure to get all the crevices like before, as well as the inside cavity as well. Then we're going to go ahead and shake off any excess by patting it, more like aggressively tumbling this chicken over itself to make sure all the flour comes out of its holes. There's going to be a lot of weird phrases in this video. Okay, first I'm going to let that sit on a tray just so any of the excess flour still remaining on the chicken can kind of get a tiny
How
bit
you gonna
tacky
homemade the
when
mashed
absorbing the
potatoes?
moisture from the skin. Now, We do have to make some mashed potatoes. This is pretty straightforward. We're gonna go ahead and use 4 russet potatoes. Gonna peel them, cube them up, pretty standard, and then boil them, first starting them in some cold water. I've heard this helps potatoes get less gummy, so that's what we're gonna do. Once these have boiled in our fork tender, I'm gonna drain all the water out and then return them to the stove, mashing them while cooking them on a medium heat, getting them almost to a chalky-like consistency. Rachel taught me this trick.
He hasn't
It kind
done
of
yet.
helps
It's
get
mashed
any of the
potatoes.
extra moisture out, so that way you have more room for that delicious butter and cream that we're gonna add in. That really makes mashed potatoes taste like mashed potatoes. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in a whole stick of unsalted butter, followed by an appropriate amount of milk to get you the consistency you want. I don't think there's really a super right or wrong answer for this. Some people like thick mashed potatoes, some people, like us for this video, I'm gonna need them on the smoother side, so we might add a little bit more milk. Then we're gonna go ahead and season the taste, make sure that this tastes pretty good. And then we're gonna go ahead and make some gravy. This gravy recipe is pretty straightforward as well. First, we're gonna start with a 1/4 cup of butter with a 1/4 cup of flour, making a simple roux. And then based on some online research saying that KFC gravy tastes really good because of both maybe beef and chicken flavors, we're gonna make a beef stock and add that in, along with about 2 cups of stock and 2 cubes. I'm going to slowly whisk this to make sure there aren't any lumps, and I'm going to go ahead and finish seasoning this with some white pepper, some kosher salt, and black pepper. Once the gravy is ready and tastes pretty good, I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. With Rachel's help, Rachel's going to go ahead and open up that cavity real nice of the chicken while I inject the potatoes and the gravy, not from the front end from the commercial, but rather
Hold the
from the
fuck
back
up.
door.
Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck
Rachel's
up.
going to go ahead and open up that cavity real nice.
What the fuck?
He's gonna put that shit. Nah, I can't
Yo,
believe that.
this shit is
Yo,
crazy. Look at the
it is
chicken.
bad.
Yo. All right, let's go.
Nice of the chicken while I inject the potatoes and the gravy.
Hey, the chicken like, well, I know you're probably wondering how I got here.
I'm wasted.
What the fuck?
Not from the front
Oh
end,
my
from the
God.
commercial, but rather from the back door. There's a larger hole back here, more access, easier to maneuver around and to insert anything we need to. First, starting with a little bit of potato. I would dislike if any of the gravy came out the front end during the frying process. That would be a weird version of regurgitation. So, sealing that, making sure that we're safe.
No shit on mashed potatoes.
Yo, he's about to put the corn in, gang. This shit is gonna be crazy.
With a little layer of potato at the bottom of the cavity, and then taking a
This
whole
shit is
corn
crazy.
cob and very indelicately
This shit is crazy.
Am I saying some shit?
Like, this shit is crazy.
shoving it down the cavity.
Wait, what?
Ah, yes. Grand Theft Auto, ladies and gentlemen.
Nah.
And just to be safe, I'm going to use a little bit more of this
It's
mashed
pretty good,
potato
I
to
ain't
seal
gonna
any
lie.
excess holes
Bro,
and
it's probably
crevices,
gonna
making
slap.
sure that the corn cob
Yeah.
plug is secure.
I might make
This
this
really
like a
needs to stay
Christmas,
plugged up, or else we
tradition
could
or
result in
something.
a
Oh, God,
large
I might,
disaster in the
do
fryer.
it.
Okay,
Some
just
nigga
so that we
shit.
get a
Oh,
more
God,
of
when I
a
get my own
complete
house,
breading setup.
I'ma have
Okay,
this
I'm going to
every
give this
Christmas
chicken a
dinner.
buttermilk bath
Oh, bro.
all over, making sure that we coat everything. Dip it
Oh,
all in
God.
flour
This
once
shit,
more, just to
bro,
make sure
what?
that we
This
seal
some
any of
Christmas
those
dinner
entrances
shit,
and
like some,
exits.
you know
And
what I mean?
also ask for Rachel's help on this
Yeah.
one to lift it up so that way I can pat the flour
I feel
between
you.
all those little nooks and crannies and
Yo, or
holes.
like,
All right. Now, while we were working on this chicken, Rachel graciously
but I'm
helped
cutting,
us
I'm
set
cutting
up
the head
a
off. I'm
nice
cutting the
deep
head off.
frying
Fuck
setup
that.
outside.
Yeah,
Because you're frying a
oh
whole
God.
I
chicken,
don't
this is
want
kind of
that. Yeah,
almost like
that's
deep frying a
shit-
turkey. We kind of need to be in a safe
How you
environment.
supposed to
I also would
eat
highly recommend
chicken
not
head?
attempting
Yeah,
this
I'm
at
cool
home
on
unless
that.
you have
Like
a lot of
what?
experience in this area
Yeah.
and if you have a fire extinguisher or the local fire department on standby, as there is a chance of imminent explosions and flames. Not the good kind. Okay, we heated our oil to about 350 degrees, and holding the chicken by its legs so that it hangs downwards, I'm going to go ahead and slowly lower this into the hot oil, making sure to not just drop it in immediately, but to kind of swirl it around so that the edges of the chicken can set a little, because I don't want any of it sticking to the bottom of the pot, because I can't see that either. Okay, let's let this chicken hang out.
What
I can
about
drop
the
it
legs?
now.
Are you
And,
gonna
oh look, its little feet
cut
are
those shit off
slowly
for
saying
the-
hello.
for that
Or
Christmas?
goodbye
Look at
as it
the
slips
feet. That shit
lower
is
and lower
crazy.
into the hot oil. Okay, now this fried for
Yeah, like,
maybe
this
about
shit
10
is
minutes,
crazy.
and we started to notice that the skin and the crust was getting pretty nice and golden brown, but definitely
them
not cooked all.
Them niggas took a whole chicken, put mashed potatoes and gravy and the corn on the cob inside of it. and fried it.
the way through. This is a huge chicken, and because the oil actually can't cook inside the cavity, heating it from both sides, we knew that this was definitely raw in the middle. So we're gonna do a technique where you pull the chicken out once the chicken skin looks pretty good, and we're gonna return it to an oven at about 300
Yeah, it
degrees
looks
to
good.
finish
Put it in the
until
oven.
the chicken meat at its thickest reads about 160 or 165. Okay, once that temperature has been reached, this is the first attempt at our pollo todo frito. Go ahead and give this a look. Make sure it's rested so
That
the
shit
juices come
looks
spilling out.
decent,
Now I'm just gonna
gang.
go ahead and go for my favorite part,
Yeah,
the
true.
drumstick.
Why
Cut a nice
the-
piece of that
why
off.
the corn?
Tastes pretty good. Seasoning is great.
Nah, that
Crust
shit
is
pink.
great.
Hold up.
It's rested so the juices come spilling out.
Hell no,
Now I'm
that
just gonna
shit
go
pink.
ahead and go for my favorite part, the drumstick. I'm gonna cut a nice
God, we
piece of
need a
that off.
rewind.
Tastes pretty
Yeah.
Nah, that shit is pink. All right there. Nah. Okay, my face
Nah.
covering it. Hold on, let me move my camera. What the fuck? Oh.
This might not be good.
Right? This shit
Like,
is
it's still
salmonella.
raw. Yeah.
good. Seasoning is great.
Hell
Crust
no,
is
that
great.
shit pink.
I think whole frying a chicken is one of the few ways to make a chicken really juicy on the inside without overcooking it, which is why I guess a lot of people deep fry
This
their
shit pink.
turkeys.
I'm not
In
going.
Korea, they also just deep fry whole chickens. It's a really good
Nah.
way to do it if you can do it correctly and safely. The flavor is really nice, has a fast food
I
fried
don't wanna
chicken
eat that.
taste to it. And let's go ahead and take
Like,
out the fun part, the
ah.
corn cob plug. Oh, okay, it's kind of wet.
Ew.
You know, a
I
little
think
bit of
I
a...
think it's just an experiment, right?
Ew. Nigga, do you see that? That's raw. That's
Oh.
raw juice.
has
Nah.
a fast food fried chicken
Shit is
taste to it. And
disgusting.
let's go ahead and take out the fun part, the corn cob plug. Oh, okay,
Oh.
it's kind of wet. You know, a little bit of
Hell no.
little bit of red on the end. Don't know, maybe I put that in too deep. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and take this to
Yo.
the side. And because we have essentially created a pool of sauce to dip our chicken into, we're gonna go ahead
Pool
and
of
dip the
sauce.
drumstick back into the back
Nigga, that shit
entrance
is
to get some of that
raw. If he eats this, I'm done with this video.
Nah, yeah.
sauce out.
For
There's a lot
real.
of metaphors you could probably
No,
imagine right
fucking
now.
way.
I'm gonna go ahead and let you
no,
guys think of those.
How can you
I'd
eat
rather
it?
not say them out loud, but it's delicious, so it works. Kind of made a potato gravy mixture. It's like when you have
feel
a
like
fried
it's
chicken
gonna
plate
like
and
this.
everything's on the same plate, and you just kind of dip it
feel
in
like it's
there,
gonna
and
like
you also
this.
get some potato with it. So I understand why this is a novel concept. It would also make a pretty good on the go if you're, you know, sitting in the driver's seat or the shotgun and you kind of are caught up in a shootout, but you still want to eat your fried chicken. If your ops see you, you know, blasting away while eating chicken with the other hand, I think that's going to send a very strong message that you
Nah,
should
that
not be
shit's
messed
raw.
with.
That shit's That's my boy O.
Play for an ultra?
Yo.
We in this bitch
We're playing for ultras.
reacting to this video.
Brace you for an ultra.
Put an ultra on.
Okay, so the rest of the chicken is pretty good, but my biggest concern was the fact that we weren't able to
Yeah, I'm
cook
finna
it
stream
thoroughly
Saints Row
because of the
now.
way that it was plugged up at the end. And I'm not a huge fan of those chicken juices having to
Yeah, I don't
stay
know where
with the
this nigga low
potato,
at,
so
bro.
I have another idea that
He's
also
supposed to play
hopefully
goddamn
will give us a different
Right.
result.
I'm
So
finna
we
go
have a
find
whole
Saints Row.
chicken,
Got me
a second
fucked
one
up.
that Rachel
I ain't playing
procured.
with
We're gonna do
niggas
the
today. I'm
same
on schedule
thing.
today
We're gonna
for
flour
streaming
it
shit.
first with our seasoned flour, but instead of assembling the potato gravy and corn while it's still raw, I'm gonna save that until the end.
Hold on,
And
he's
taking
cooking
notes
it
from our
again?
previous whole fried chicken videos, I'm gonna go ahead and double dip
Wait,
it.
are
So
the
again,
frog-
back into the
but-
buttermilk for a second
like
time, and then
eating this
use
shit,
our
now
dredge
he's
to kind of
gonna-
get a really
Another one?
nice thick coating and a nice crust on it. Hopefully
Nah,
for
you're
better
gonna-
insulation, better crunch, better flavor, and it'll hold
Yeah,
up a
he's
lot
doing
better
it
in the
again.
fryer. Now we're
Ain't
gonna take
knowing
this
that
back
this
into
chicken
our
is
oil.
dead.
Same thing, hold it by the leg, slowly
Ain't
leave it
no
in to
fucking
fry
way.
for a little bit,
That
and then
breading
letting
looks
it
like it's
drop.
gonna be
This
good,
one
I ain't
fried
gonna
for
lie.
about 15
But, like,
minutes at a lower
yeah.
temperature, about 325. And
like
again, because
leg.
this is a whole chicken, it's a little bit larger. By the time the skin and coating got nice and crispy,
Look
the
at
inside
them
still
feet.
wasn't quite
I
there.
can't
So again, we're
believe
gonna have to
niggas
throw
eat
this
chicken
back
feet.
into the
That
oven to
shit is
finish off the
nasty.
cooking. Not as nearly as long as the first one, as it cooked a lot
God.
quicker. And so after removing that and inverting it on its head, it is now time to
Ugh.
fill the chicken. Because of the excess breading steps, we have less of a cavity to work with. So
How
I'm
you
gonna go
supposed to
ahead
eat
and
it? It's like
excavate
the
some
one
room,
person.
taking the excess breading to make room
Say
for
what?
our delicious potatoes. This gives us a
Like,
lot more
alright,
control
are you
on
gonna-
having the
are you-
potatoes
are
and the
you
gravy
supposed to
not
eat this
mixed with any of raw flour
you
or
just
chicken juices.
won't?
And yeah, we
Or
had to go
two.
ahead and cook this
Right,
corn
two
cob
people.
ahead of time. But now, once
Nah,
that's all
this is a
plugged up,
feast.
I'm a little happier with this version of it. It
Yeah.
feels a lot more cooked and cohesive.
Yeah, this
And a
looks
lot more
better.
crispy
This
as
one
well.
does look
And the
better.
chicken is definitely more evenly cooked
Yeah,
overall
better
this
than the
time
wide
around.
corn.
Eating the drumsticks and stuff, I definitely prefer a chicken
Wide
with
corn.
a deeper
It's
crust
still
when I'm eating
pink.
fried chicken, so this was more for my taste. And, you know, you can take the
That's
chicken
nice.
again and dip it in the sauce in the middle.
Nah.
Also delicious. Here's the
He
fried
still
chicken
likes
head.
it.
Hold. Let's give that to Tony. Tony likes that. And yeah, let's go
Tony?
ahead and take this corn again. Make sure that we get a
Who the hell is
nice
Tony
coating of
eating
sauce
fucking
around the
chicken
cob,
heads?
making sure we get all of that in there. Just, you know, maximum flavor.
Yo,
And yeah,
this
that
shit
corn
is
is delicious as
nasty.
well. No one say anything weird, okay? Now, as we ate into this chicken, Rachel also had the great idea of having some hot sauce to go with it,
Oh,
which
and
I
then this
guess
bitch want to
makes
put hot
sense.
sauce.
Nah,
Done.
nah,
I'm
just put
done.
hot sauce
Done.
in.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Nah,
All right, let's watch another one.
I can't. Yeah. I want some food reactions.
You said more food reactions?
Like, yeah. That's some. That's so laughable.
What are you doing, step bro?
Oh, you're so adorable. You're not scary at all. I can just kiss you. Good, man?
Yeah, bro.
Not much. Good, man? Good? We're trying Kendrick Lamar's restaurant.
This the wrong one though.
This is?
Yeah, this ain't the right one.
Where's the right one at?
That one is in Compton.
So wait, I didn't even know Kendrick Lamar lived in the hood. I just thought he was like somebody that just came up in a regular neighborhood. So he was a trench baby. You got the blicky on you? It's in there, right?
Oh my god, I'm not watching that.
This might be my dumbest idea yet. In my hand are balls labeled 1 through 5, and on the ground is one of the smartest dogs in the world. Okay, I lied about the last part. Nova, Jesus Christ. That's Nova. She's my 3-year-old Frenchie, and it's very clear we've already tried this.
So if you watched the channel before, you know that we're no
Ew.
What? Hallucinogenic state?
Yeah, let's watch this one.
Yeah.
When I switch to T-Mobile, you'll give me an iPhone 16 Pro. Help pay off my old phone, and I still get to keep it?
That's right, no trade-in.
Oh.
Yes.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile, get a new iPhone 16 Pro on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm wondering why I did the smoke to make
This is the rarest honey in the world. It can make you hallucinate. Harvested from the cliffs of Nepal, hunters will risk their life for this honey. It is one of the reasons it is so expensive. Now, I've been waiting to get my hands on this for a long time, and luckily, it is now here today. This honey is produced by the world's largest honeybees in the Himalayas. It contains very potent toxins. These toxins can distort your senses in unimaginable ways and send your mind into vivid hallucinations, like hearing voices that don't exist or see the world around you melting away. And on today's video, I'll be dry aging steaks with it. But first, we must try it.
Doesn't taste bad. Tastes kind of like honey, a little less sweet. Yo, that actually tastes pretty good. That's not a sweet honey.
Ugh.
Wow.
It's a mix of honey and banana?
I don't know what to say. It's honey, man. Wait.
Wait, what? Press record, bro.
Dumb. What's wrong with everybody?
Yeah, it is fair to say that this is a honey like no other. Also, it tastes like nothing else. And I'm wondering what's gonna happen to our steak. And for today's experiment, I'll be using this beautiful New York strip. There's nothing special to it. It is choice grade and perfect for this experiment. So the first thing to do is to add a generous amount of red honey to a bowl, followed by that beautiful steak. Next, I made sure to cover the whole thing with it. Now let me be clear. Not only did I get the bottle you've seen, I've also got my hands on some honeycomb, which is even more rare. I made sure to put that all over the steak. The more, the better. The key was to ensure that this thing was fully covered with it, as once that was done, I was going to let the whole thing soak in my dry ager. But that got me thinking, honey is honey. Will there be much differences between a regular honey and a mad honey? Well, we're about to find out, because I got myself another steak, and it was the same exact grade as the previous one. I got another bowl and added regular honey, the one that you buy from your supermarket. I made sure to add a nice amount on the bottom like before, and once that was done, I completely covered the whole thing with it. You can clearly see the differences between them. It is like night and day, and if I'm being completely honest with you, I have no idea what's about to happen. However, I'm very excited to find out, because now that I have both honeys ready, into the dry ager they go to soak for months. Once the time was up, I immediately removed them, open up the lid, and take a look. As you might already know, honey has preservative properties, and it was supposed to preserve this steak. This does not look preserved. It actually looks like it killed the steak. Right at this time, I was second guessing this experiment. As soon as I started removing from the container, things went from bad to worse. I set it down to a cooling rack so that we can have a better look. I thought there would be no pinkness whatsoever. Apparently, there's still a little left. That got my hopes up. So slowly and carefully, I started removing all of the mad honey, little by little, making sure that I did not destroy the steak. I've done quite a few experiments with beef. This one is the worst of them all. As once I was done cleaning as much as I possibly could, it seemed like the honey crystallized in top of the steak. I pretty much had to excavate the pieces out. It is quite unusual. Once I was done, take a closer look. It seems like this steak went to war and lost. It looks like death. However, the smell is very unique. It doesn't smell rotten, but it also does not smell great. Most importantly, it is quite firm. It seemed like it started disintegrating, but then the mad honey held it together, resulting in this, the world's first soaked mad honey steak. This will be my rarest experiment ever. I have high hopes that this steak is going to be fantastic, as I spent a lot of money, time, and effort on this experiment. We're about to find out real shortly, as I went ahead and grabbed the other steak and take a closer look. This is what you can expect from regular honey. Notice how well it preserved the steak. You can still see a little bit of dark pinkness, which is good, but at the same time, nothing crazy weird happened. Even when I set it down and clean it up, it's not the best looking steak, but this one smells delicious, like what you would expect when you open up a baked honey ham. And I have a feeling this one is going to be phenomenal. So I went ahead and got a control steak as well. And here we have all three of them side by side. And the only thing missing is some seasoning. I went with a generous amount of salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder, as after seasoning them well, they were now ready to be cooked. And just in case things go south and it does not turn out well, I decided to go ahead and make an awesome side dish. This one will please everyone. That I can guarantee. And the best part is that it's quite simple and easy to make. First thing to do is to get some mac and cheese. Whenever you make yours next time, make sure you have some extra so you can do this recipe. After letting them cool down, you want to get a piece of mozzarella, put it in the middle, and make a ball surrounding the cheese. Make it nice and tight. Make sure to make plenty of it. Trust me, you're gonna love this one. Now for the crust, you want to grab your favorite chips. I think Doritos is a perfect combination, so I'm using that. But you can also use anything you like. Crushed it up real good, and it was now ready for breading. You first coat the whole thing in flour, followed by egg wash, and then a generous amount of Doritos. Now you want to deep fry the whole thing in a 350 degrees oil. Once that's done, you want to drain it. Now you can eat it just like this. But if you want to go to the next step, add some birria meat on top of it. I've done birria quite a few times in the channel, because after adding a generous amount, you want to throw in some birria consomme, followed by cilantro and onions, and that is today's side dish. I can tell you one thing, friends, this is going to be phenomenal, and it's quite simple and easy to make, unlike today's experiment, the mad honey steak. Remember what these steaks went through, because now that they are nicely seasoned, next thing to do is to go ahead and cook them up and see how they taste. As now I say, it is enough talking and it is time to grill them, so let's do it.
God. But these niggas ain't finna get high off this shit, man.
Battle Royales, Battle Royales, Battle Royale. Sorry for dances in my head right now. But a lot of people don't like that. They're still looking for some good alternates. But of course, back in the day, there was a lot more eagerness towards this genre. It is a dominant force in gaming. Even though it feels like the glory days of battle.
Oh yeah, I might get one of them games, bro. PUBG or some shit. I never played that shit. Honestly, I think they be cheating on that motherfucker, bro. Hey, say man, you know. Oh hell no! You're fucking crazy. Yo, like what? They had this shit on sale. I don't think so. $60. Oh hell no! That Far Cry looked fine. Yeah, I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play one of them Far Cry. You play one with Gus Fring on that bitch. Nigga, I don't want none of that. Bitch, I just want to play the game. Nah. That nigga got me fucked up. Nah. I guess I won't be playing none of those. That's what I'm saying. So I should be able to fucking just download it. Oh shit. Oh no, I might just got in take a nap.